Welcome to Scott Bryson Beyond the Service. Tonight we're going to do another monologue. Before we get started into what I want to talk about, please drop a comment or suggestion of some people you would like to see us interview. We've had some pretty heavy hitters on here in the past. We had Eric and Laura Trump. I've had Carl Higbee. Don Jr. said he would come on, but his schedule's kind of gotten crazy since his dad got reelected. So I'm hoping to get Don Jr. on here at some point. But give me some suggestions on some people you'd like to hear from. Obviously, I'd like to get on some other people's podcasts like Tucker Carlson or Sean Ryan. So if anybody knows those guys, send my videos their way. I don't know if I have anything interesting to say that they would find interesting or not. But anyway, that's what we're doing tonight. I just wanted to kind of retouch on what we did last week. We talked about resiliency and perseverance. I don't know if you had a chance to catch that episode or not. These are pretty short, maybe 10, 15 minutes, something like that, so it doesn't dominate your night. Hopefully you'll find it to be enjoyable. What I want to talk to you tonight about is being in the moment, kind of being where God calls you to be, even if you don't necessarily like it or want to be there. Like I said, we're just recapping a little bit. Last week, I was talking about resiliency and perseverance, and it took me a long time to get promoted. And like I said last week, I was a little bit bitter about that for a while. And when I finally humbled myself, I think that the Lord rewarded me. I'm not sure if I'm right, but that's what I think. And the point I'm making tonight is this. God has a plan, and he doesn't do random, and he doesn't do happenstance, right? Same thing, I guess. But he has a plan. His timing is perfect, and we just have to learn to accept it. We don't have to like it. We don't have to understand it. We just have to learn to try to accept it. And really what I want to talk to you about tonight is when I got promoted, and I was super excited and nervous at the same time. I went to New York. I was a GS-14 on PPD, Presidential Protective Division, but I was the detail leader for Eric Trump up in New York City. Now, in the past, I had done things with the Bush girls and the Obama girls, but they were younger, right? Never had I protected grown adult children in a different city, right? So that was unique. I loved it. It was very challenging, but I loved it. Loved the Trumps. I'm a Trump man through and through. Make no mistake about that. I don't hide from that. When I was a Secret Service agent, I had to be a little bit more apolitical. But I'm a Trump man, and I'm a big Eric and Laura fan. So anytime I say something about that being hard, it's just meant to be a fact about the job being hard, not the protectees were jerks or mean or anything like that. They were awesome protectees because they're awesome people. And I was really excited and nervous because I was going to New York City, and that's a tough environment. And I was about 15 months into my 18-month assignment because it was a long-term TDY, and I got pulled back, which is a long story that I won't bore you with. Basically, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul to stay afloat. My travel vouchers I had about $20,000 in travel vouchers outstanding that the government would not pay. I took a loan out against my TSP to survive. I had 2 kids in college at the time, and I was living in New York City. It was rough. And I guess I made a little bit too much noise about it because I guess I got labeled. I don't know if I got labeled a complainer, but they pulled me back a little bit early, which pretty much pissed me off because I was really hitting my stride. I had built my detail up to like 50%, like permanent guys, had real good support, had an awesome relationship with Eric and his staff, and Laura, of course, had the baby, and it was just exciting times, and we were really starting to run that thing like a sewing machine, you know. It was just really doing well. But they pulled me back at the 15-month mark, unbeknownst to me at the last minute. You're coming back in 3 weeks. And I was not happy. But it is what it is. So when your boss's boss calls it, you know, that's what it is. So went back to D.C. They told me I was going to be running PPD training, which I was not real excited about, but I was going to do it. It was going to keep me in my own bed every night, 9 to 5, whatever. At last minute, I don't know what changed, but I ended up running PPD CSU Counter Surveillance Unit. And basically, I had done that job for 4.5 years as kind of like an NCO type over at our CSU division, Counter Surveillance Division. It's the same job, just One is dedicated just for the president. One is dedicated to the NCR, which is the National Capital Region. And then, of course, VP's got their thing. So it's kind of like three different entities doing the same thing, but two are just dedicated to POTUS and BPOTUS, and then one unit's just dedicated, it's a division really, dedicated to the whole region. So it's the same job, different acronym. So I knew what I was doing. I was really good at it. Just 4.5 years, I enjoyed it. So now I was going to do it for the president's detail, and I was going to be running it. I had about 29 people working for me. A lot going on. Busy administratively. I wasn't that operational. I would put myself on some trips now and again to relieve the guys if they needed a break, or if there was a good trip I wanted to go on. I was probably a little selfish on a couple. I put myself on some good trips, but I felt like I'd earned it at that point. You may disagree with that, but I'm being transparent. So anyway, the point is this. I was running CSU for PPD for 1 year. And in that time, I had some things that were challenging happen to me. And that's the whole point to this podcast tonight, is we are where God wants us to be, whether we want to be there or not. And I'm hoping this will make some sense once you watch it. I'm trying not to get emotional, because there's one part that's pretty emotional, and I'll just try to get through it robotically. I'm not going to use names for privacy's sake, because most of these guys I think are probably still on the job, and I didn't talk to them, so I don't have permission to release their names and stuff. But basically, I came back, and right off the bat, actually, I just talked to this guy the other day, real good dude. He's getting ready to retire next year, and he's like, hey man, my daughter's got some health concerns, and he's like, I'm just going to need some time off here and there. I'm like, no problem. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to become a supervisor, so I could help people with their work-life balance. Wasn't going to save the world, wasn't going to change the Secret Service or whatever. The job still has to get done, but there's a way we can get it done and still take care of our troops, I believe, most of the time, not all the time. So he was really open and upfront with me at the beginning, and I told him I would do what I could when I could, and we were able to make sure he could meet her doctor's appointments and things like that. So that was like a curveball I wasn't really expecting right off the bat, because medical things with the kids are important, right? It's very important. So we were able to take care of that, and I thought that was good. I hope I did good. So you know who you are if you're watching this. I think you do watch some of these. So I don't want to say your name out of respect, but I tried to do right by you. I hope I did. And I'm already getting a little upset. Whew. I hadn't even got into the hard stuff yet. I don't want to come across as like self-righteous or whatever, because I'm not. I'm not that good of a person, but I tried to be, I tried to live out my faith. Sometimes I got it wrong big time, and then sometimes I got it right. And I think this particular part of my career, I think I got it right during this 1 year window of time. Yeah, I just don't want to be a hypocrite, you know. But anyway, took care of that best we could. Then another guy, probably mid-30s, was out on a trip doing an advance for us, and somewhere out west. And his brother, who was probably mid-35, 40, somewhere there, just dropped dead of a heart attack in his sleep. So we called him back from his trip. And so as a good leader, I thought the right thing to do was to go get him at the airport. I could have made somebody else go, but I went, and a couple of people went. I kind of quarterbacked it, but then I went, right? And I don't like talking about this stuff too much, because it sounds like I'm bragging on myself, thinking I'm not great at all. I just think there's a difference between leadership and management, and a leader does hard things, and a leader leads from the front, is what I think I'm trying to say. So I went to Dulles and picked him up. He was a mess. We got him home and everything. And, you feel helpless. You see another grown man just destroyed, and he's got a wife and 2 kids, and he's got to put his brother on the ground. And his dad was a retired agent too. So I just tried to minister to him the way I minister to them, the only way I really knew how. I'd go over and cut their grass. That next couple of weeks when they were busy doing stuff, I wanted to do something, but you just feel helpless. Kind of like when these storms happen, right? We're like, hey, we can donate money, or we can go do whatever. Like, you just feel helpless, but you want to do something. That human spirit wants to do something. And then invited them to church, and so they came to church, and I think they're going to church. I don't know. So sometimes we want to see someone come to salvation right then and there, but sometimes it's just our job to plant the seed, and somebody else cultivates it, and somebody else might harvest it, right? So, hoping that he and his family are all saved, and that's between them and the Lord. It's none of my business. They could have already been. I'm not suggesting that they weren't, but got him coming to church some, and his dad came to church, and it was really cool. Played a little small part in that, and so it gets progressively worse. I had this young lady that worked for me who was a freaking beast, like a CrossFit type girl. When you think of a female Secret Service agent, this is what she personified. This none of this, you know, gelatinous, can't get my gun in the holster type of stuff. This was a fit woman, a beast mode. She could outrun me. She wasn't stronger than me, but she was strong for a woman. She could do a ton of pull-ups, which was highly impressive for women can't do a ton of pull-ups, and she could do like 14 or 15 pull-ups. Very strong, very fit, could shoot the whole thing, total package. She ends up dying in a kayak accident on the Potomac, I think. Her and her boyfriend were out kayak days. She was super fit, and she dies in a kayaking thing. So I've had 3 things within it, not even close to a year yet, 6 months maybe, like child issue with some health things, brothers, one of my employees, his brother died, and then now I have an employee die. And I have one more I got to get to, but the point I'm making is I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be in New York with my guys that I had built up, my detail with Eric, and I had a great relationship with Eric and Laura, and operational, doing my thing, and had it pretty much on cruise control at that point. I'd done all the hard things, I'd gotten it running, and then they just pulled the carpet out from under me. But guess what? It wasn't what I wanted, okay? It didn't matter what I wanted. It's what God wanted. And not to suggest that I was some type of, Billy Graham type figure that came in there and saved the day, but, he had me where he wanted me at that time. So the only thing I can figure out. So this is the part I'm going to try to blow through, because I've already got emotional one time and I don't even know why. I started thinking about this stuff, I guess. But had another guy about my age, a little older guy. He had 3 kids, I think. His oldest daughter was having some, like 16 years old, I think, was having some issues, and she went missing. She'd run off a couple times, and I always came home, and she went missing, and I was on vacation. I was actually in North Carolina. I was at my mother-in-law and father-in-law's house doing a little bit of yard work one day, and I was trying to keep tabs on. I was calling every couple hours just to touch base. I was worried about her. I was praying for the family and just trying to stay in the loop best I could. And I called and this one particular time in the afternoon, and he didn't answer. And I just got this really bad feeling, because he was pretty much answering the first or second ring. Hey, she back? No. And da-da-da, conversations go. And I got this really bad feeling. And I remember I was blowing leaves in the driveway. He called me back, and I could not understand what he was saying. He was crying so uncontrollably. I couldn't understand. I didn't know what he was saying. And I knew it was really bad. And he had just found her. Parents aren't meant to bury their children. So that was horrible. I don't know why I got emotional at the beginning of this stupid thing. I thought I was going to get emotional during that. I guess I got it out of my system. But that was hard. The moral of the whole story is this. I'm going to read this to you guys really quickly because I read this the other day. Esther chapter 4, verse 14. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to this royal position for such a time as this. My wife loves Esther, loves this story, and it's awesome because, Queen Esther, God found favor on her and put her in, what was his name, Xerxes, King Xerxes. She became his number 1 wife, and she basically saved the Jewish people with Mordecai and that whole thing. You can check it out. Esther's it's a real cool story. But when things like this happen in modern day time, especially to like me or my family members, I always think, okay, for such a time as this, maybe, and I don't know if I'm right on all this stuff, but sometimes I think God puts us, well, I know He does. He puts us where He wants us when He wants us there. Not that I was, you know, saving the world like Queen Esther sort of did, but I do have compassion for people. I'm a flawed individual. Like the rest of us, but I love the Lord. I love my country. I love my family, and I try to love on people. It's pretty simple. Like I used to go to a church in Virginia, and their tagline, and actually my church says the same thing: love God, love people. It's pretty simple. We overcomplicate it and make it super difficult when it's really easy. That's all I was trying to do. Was I perfect? Am I perfect? No. Was I the best supervisor ever? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. Probably not. I probably got a lot of stuff wrong, but I tried, and I think that I don't know if there's anybody out there watching this tonight that's maybe in a similar situation at work or in a personal life or whatever. Uh, just try not to get frustrated. I know it's easier said than done, especially now that I'm older and I'm on the backside of this stuff. My patience is a lot longer and bigger than it used to be when I was a younger man. But yeah, just try to, if you're a person of faith, take solace in the fact that God's probably using you. If you're not a person of faith, maybe this will help you come to faith. Anyway, like I said, drop us a comment or a suggestion on who you want us to see interview so I don't have to keep talking to the camera by myself. Thanks.